it's Shannon Rose, and in today's story time video, I'm gonna tell you how I almost got kicked off American Airlines.
My bitch is bad and bullshit bad.
Okay, so this started when my mom and I booked a trip to Hawaii. I gave my mom my credit card and said, just book this trip for us. My mom ended up booking my ticket under my maiden name, like my maiden last name. So instead of using my new married name, she booked it under my maiden name. So that's how this whole thing got started. It gets real rowdy, and it like went down in the DMs with American Airlines on Twitter. Shit went down, okay? I'm about to tell you what happened. So we get to the airport and we're all excited for our trip. My mom and I are going to Hawaii. It's been planned for a while, and I don't even know, because my mom booked the trip, that my name is not correct on my ticket. Like, I have no clue, right? So she checks us in, we get our tickets. We have priority boarding, so we go through the priority line. I didn't even look at my ticket, right? Like, it was early in the morning. It was just like not even on my mind. So I get to security, show them my ticket and my ID, and they're like, sorry, this doesn't match. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, wait, what? And I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like, I think you accidentally booked my maiden name. And she was like, oh shoot. And they're like, it's okay, just go down to the like desk agent and they'll get it like fixed for you or whatever. So we're like, okay. So I'm just thinking like, we're gonna go down to the agent, tell them it was an accident, they'll fix it, and we'll be good to go. So we go down to the agent, and because we had priority, like my mom paid extra for priority, we get in the priority line. Well, there's two different lines, and we're worried like we're gonna miss our flight now. So I get in the line and my mom gets in a line, and they're both priority lines. There's like a sign that says like priority line, right, for both of them, and there's two, so we both get in one, and mine just happens to get like there faster. So I go up to the agent. The first thing that this agent says to me is, are you booked first class? Like, with a full-on attitude, right? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, you can't stand in that line then. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, it said priority. I have a priority ticket. I didn't see that it said first class only. I just saw priority. I don't know, just the way that she said it like made me feel like very inferior, and just like right off the bat, it was not a good encounter with the desk agent. And so like immediately, like right off the bat, this chick is like, one, a total bitch, right? And two, I'm not a morning person, just so you know. This is my thing, okay? I am the nicest person you will ever meet, until you give me a reason not to be. Then, if you are a fucking asshole to me and you're mean to me, I just become savage. Let's just put it that way. That's like the nice way of putting it. So this chick is like being a bitch, right? I'm calm and collected, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna let it slide, right? I'm gonna let this bitch, like, and when I say bitch, I mean not talking about like this girl or guy. I'm talking about she's being a bitch. So this bitch tries to make me feel bad for standing in the first class line. I didn't like the way that she was treating me. I don't think that you should like treat customers that way at all. And she had no reason like to be rude to me, right? Like I hadn't even got there. Like, I hadn't even said anything to her yet. And she had like a really bad attitude and was acting just really inappropriately for a desk agent, especially somebody in customer service. And you know, normally like they smile at you, they greet you, like ask how you're doing, whatever. Like, not at LAX, they don't, not at American Airlines. So this chick's a total bitch, whatever. She tells me I can't stand in that line. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm sorry, I won't stand in that line again. Like, there's nothing we can do about it now, you know what I mean? So then I tell her like our situation of what's going on, and she's like, you're gonna have to buy a whole new plane ticket. And that's like where I kind of lost my shit, and I'm like, you're joking, right? And she's like, does it look like I'm joking? Okay, at this point, like I literally wanted to fucking fly over the countertop and fucking bust this bitch in our mouth, because she was being such a bitch for no reason. And I'm like freaking out thinking, okay, I'm gonna miss my flight. Now you're making me buy a whole new plane ticket? Like, this is there gotta be some sort of joke. Like, this is not real life. Like, this is not happening to me right now. So after she gives me like this full attitude, I'm like, I'm literally gonna end up in jail over this chick. Like, not worth it. I'm like, can I speak with your supervisor? And she's like, I guess I can just get you somebody else to talk to. And I'm like, no, I'd like to speak to your supervisor. And 3 times, you guys, it took me 3 times to tell her to get her supervisor over there, because I didn't want to deal with her, and I wasn't going to deal with her anymore. Like, I had had enough, and I didn't feel like it was right for her to be treating me that way. Like, I don't think anybody deserves to be treated that way or talked to like that. And so I wanted somebody else to talk to, and I would prefer her supervisor and somebody to come and apologize for her behavior. I just had the worst experience of my whole entire life with like the desk agents at American and just like American Airlines in general. So I don't even know where to start off. I'm like still trying to calm down because I was like shaking and like almost wanting to cry earlier. So the supervisor comes out and takes forever, by the way. She's taken her sweet time to go get the supervisor, right? She's just being an extra bitch now because she knows I'm upset. And so now she's being even more bitchy to me. And I am just like, I'm fuming, you guys. There's fucking smoke coming out of my ears. I'm like so upset. If this chick was like super nice right off the bat and was like, I'm so sorry, like it's our policy that you have to buy a whole new plane ticket, I would have been like, man, that sucks, but like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to miss my flight, so I'll just buy a whole new flight and get on with my life. But because she was such a bitch, I didn't want to give her any of my money, right? So it's like, let me talk to your supervisor. So the supervisor finally gets over there, like after a long ass time, and she's like, what can I do for you? Right? So then I get a second bitch. Like, right off the bat, you guys, I'm telling you, they had the biggest attitude problems. Like, I don't know what was going on, but like, not just the first chick I talked to, but also the second desk agent was like total bitch. Traveling just right off the bat is a little stressful and crazy. So to have like somebody that you're like dealing with right before you're about to travel that's like very rude and nasty towards you, it's not a good feeling. And I'm like, you know, telling her what had happened like with the other chick and how like I just didn't feel like I deserved to be talked to that way, and you know, whatever. And she does not even apologize, right? She does not apologize for employees' behavior. She's just like, well, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you, that's our policy. And I'm just like, oh my god, is this happening? I'm like, so you're telling me I have to buy a whole new plane ticket because my mom accidentally screwed up my names? And like, I had ID, like I had all these things to show her, like with my maiden name and my new name. And I explained to her like I had gotten married, and so it was just in like, you know, my new last name, whatever. And they're sitting there trying to get me to buy a new plane ticket. And I'm like, listen, I think it's kind of crazy for me to buy a whole new plane ticket. And she's like, well, I guess I'll just charge you $200 for the name change. But then you can't have your priority boarding anymore. So like all the things my mom paid for, and mind you, when I say my mom paid for it, my mom used my card to pay for our trip. So like it was my money, not my mom's money. Either way, like it's still not okay. So she's basically telling me like all the extra things we paid for, like we're not going to get refunded for it, and we're not going to be able to use like priority. We might not get our like same seats together, like all these things that we had booked prior. Like, can you imagine booking a flight and making a mistake and then getting to the airport and, you know, it's just a name thing, like things like that happen. Then this chick is like being a total bitch also, right? And I'm like, you know, it's so crazy. Normally like people are a lot nicer like in customer service or whatever, you know, and I start giving her an attitude back. I'm like, as the supervisor, you would think you'd apologize for your employees' like rude behavior towards me, like basically telling her like that she's not doing her job right. And my mom like smacks me and she's like, Shannon, shut up. She's like, shut up, they're not gonna let us on the plane. And I'm like, they can't not let me on the plane because I'm like, fucking, you want to be a smartass to me? Like, that's what you're gonna get back, right? Like, I'm sorry, but like, little Shannon was coming out because I was so upset that they were treating me this way. Nobody deserves to be treated like that. And I'm telling you, this wasn't just like a little attitude. It was like total bitch status. Honestly, I was so shocked by this. Like, I just like, I couldn't believe this was actually happening. And not just like the first person, but then the second person, who's the supervisor, was also being like bitchy, right? And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I start getting really pissed off because she's just getting bitchier and bitchier, and she's taking a really long time, like being really slow. And I'm like, are we gonna miss our flight? And she's like, well, I don't know, ma'am, but this was a mistake that you made. So if you missed your flight, that's your problem. Like these were the things she was saying, and I'm like, oh my god. So then I start flipping out and I start like, not yelling, but like I start getting upset and saying like, you know, this is so ridiculous. Like, I can't believe this, like all these different things. And she's like, well, I don't have to do this flight. We could just not have you fly. Well, fuck you then. I don't care because I don't want to fly fucking American Airlines anyways. This fucking airline sucks. I'd rather be on Virgin. Like, I'm like going off, right? Like full on going off.
I really don't care for the way you're speaking to me.
And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking freak out. Now I feel like fucking going over the counter and busting this bitch in her mouth. Like, clearly I have an anger management problem, because the second like people give me like severe attitude, the first like instinct I have is to fight them. I really need to like get that out of my head, because you know, I'm planning on having a family soon, and once I have children, I can't be acting like that or like even thinking those things, which I probably won't, because I'll be like focusing on my kid. But regardless, like, I literally want to fight people, right? Like, I want to fight all the fucking American Airlines agents right now. I'm so mad. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, what a shitty way to start your, like, vacation, right? We're going on a vacation. It's supposed to be fun. We've been playing this for a long time. You're literally making the beginning of my vacation so fucking shitty. Like, I want to fight you. So they tried to get me to buy a whole new plane ticket. Then they charged me $200 extra for like the name change or whatever. Take forever. Total assholes to me. Like, total assholes to my mom. And then they're gonna try to tell me that they're not even gonna give me a ticket like at all, or refund me, because I'm giving them an attitude problem, so they're not gonna let me on the fucking plane. So I had to just kind of like walk away. And I'm like getting ready. I'm like starting to film, because I'm like, I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Like, I'm getting really pissed off, right? I'm like, this is definitely gonna be story time. So I start filming, obviously not filming her face, but she's like, you can't film this. You don't have permission to film here. That's illegal, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I'm like, whatever. Anyways, my mom is like begging me, Shannon, just walk away, walk away. So eventually, like, I listen to my mom and I'm like, fine, I'll walk away. And so I end up walking away. My mom ends up getting the tickets. We get to the freaking gate. We don't miss our plane because it fucking was delayed anyways, thank God, because if it wasn't delayed, we would have missed our flight because of everything, all the shenanigans that was going down with the desk agents. So then I get on Twitter and I'm like tweeting American Airlines saying like how fucking shitty of an airline that they are, and like how terrible their like desk agents are. I've never been treated so poorly by any, well, that's not true. I've never been treated so poorly by any customer service place like in my life. I honestly don't know how those people still have like jobs. It was just like such a shitty fucking experience that I like literally never wanted to fly American Airlines ever again. And then immediately American Airlines Twitter people like get back to me and they're like, we're so sorry, like blah blah blah. And then as we're at the gate and we're waiting, my mom's like looking up if it really does cost like a whole new plane ticket to change the thing or whatever, like a name. And we look up and online it specifically said that it's only $25 to change a name. Are you fucking kidding me? These people were literally trying to charge me a whole new plane ticket because they were being assholes, and then charge me $200 when it was only $25 to change a name. And it even says like on their site. I was so fucking pissed. So I sent this all to like the DMs. So American Airlines gets back to me on Twitter like, please DM us, like we'd love to fix whatever problem you're having. Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure you would, because now that I'm tweeting up a storm talking about how terrible your fucking airline is, now you like, you know, want me to be quiet and go in the DMs. So it went down in the DMs with American Airlines. I like go off, I'm like telling them the names of the ladies like that were being assholes to me, and like how they were trying to charge me a whole new plane ticket and like all this stuff. To make a long story short, because I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things that like I wanted to tell you guys, but I've waited so long to like make this video. My hair is crazy, I know. It ended actually like a happy ending, because American Airlines actually ended up refunding us the $200. So that was really nice of them, because they didn't have to do that. But whoever is on their Twitter is like handling shit in a professional manner. So thank God, like, so they have someone good on Twitter at least like keeping track of their shit and like making sure customers are happy. They were really nice, and they were like, if you have any problems, just DM us, like we'll take care of it, you know, blah blah blah, and like ended up refunding us. So that was like really nice. But damn, dude, like honestly, that was such a terrible experience. And like the fact that like they weren't gonna let me on the plane because they were being assholes, and so I was being an asshole back. Like, do unto others as you would like done unto you. If you're gonna be a fucking bitch to someone, like most likely they're gonna be bitchy back. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? And then you're trying to take me off your plane and not give me my fucking plane ticket. Like, oh no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Ooh. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically my experience with American Airlines. Oh, and also the best part of this is my mom actually has an American Airlines like gold card or whatever that she's had for like like 20 years or something. And when she told the lady like at the front, she's like, I've had your card for like, I've been like a loyal customer for like 20 years. The lady was like, I'm sorry ma'am, but like we don't really care about that. Like straight up said that she doesn't even care. This is a company, like a huge company. You can't say those things. For legal reasons, I'm not gonna add in like the video footage that I actually took or the audio because I didn't film their faces. Like, I'm not gonna put that in because I don't want to get in trouble, but if they didn't refund me, I probably would be putting that back in, but I shouldn't say fuck it. But anyways, yeah, it was just a terrible fucking experience. I probably will never fly American Airlines again, and even though they did refund us and like on Twitter were really nice to us, my mom, who's been like with them for like 20 years and has had their card or whatever, literally cut her fucking card up and was like, I'm never flying with them again. Like, so yeah, it just goes to show that you can't treat people like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how people like that have jobs. Like, if you really hate your job that much, get a fucking new one. Don't make everybody else's life miserable just because you're miserable. So yeah, that's the moral of my damn story. I hope that you guys liked this. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what kind of video you guys want to see next. Thanks again for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. I went from being extremely thin to gaining weight and going to the gym and getting a little bit more fit. This is going to be an at-home workout, so if you have like no gym equipment,